Today we're going to be taking a deep dive on the exact psychology of why some videos on social media explode and others flop. And it all comes down to the first 1.7 seconds of your video. That is faster than a blink. And if your hook doesn't pass that test, your video might as well not even exist. And I've spent the last 6 years of my life obsessing over these 1.7 seconds, studying the psychology of human attention and testing it across over 1 billion views on my own social media platforms. So in this video, I'm not just going to tell you why most creators fail in those first 1.7 seconds, but I'm going to tell you how to hack your audience's brain so you craft irresistible hooks that make them keep watching your video. And after you have this information, your videos will never flop ever again. So the reality is that most creators spend like 90% of their time on their content and only 10% on their hooks. And after analyzing over 10,000 videos and doing over 1 billion views on my own social media platforms, I can tell you this is completely backwards. The hook of your video is absolutely everything. It doesn't matter how good your content is if nobody watches past the first 3 seconds. You could literally be giving out the cure for cancer or the location of the Holy Grail, but if the hook for your video is bad where you're giving out that value, nobody will ever stick around to get to the point where you give out that value. Is it sad? For sure, but it's reality. So in this video, I'm going to break down the psychology behind viral hooks, the exact hook templates responsible for my viral videos, how to stack hooks for maximum impact, and I'll break down real examples so you can steal them. And by the end of this video, you will have everything you could possibly need to craft hooks so good that your content will perform better than it ever has. So let's break down what actually happens in the viewer's mind in the first 1.7 seconds of your video. So let's imagine you're scrolling through your Instagram or your TikTok feed. In under 2 seconds, your brain has automatically decided whether it wants to watch that video or not. And believe it or not, that decision is not random. It's a mix of neuroscience, psychology, and past experiences. So before your conscious mind even registers what you're watching, your brain has already made a decision whether you're going to finish that video or swipe away. Seriously, be aware of this next time you're scrolling, and you will notice that you scroll away before you even know what's happening. And this all happens because your brain has an internal gatekeeper called the reticular activating system. And the job of this system is to filter out any unnecessary information and focus on what's relevant and stimulating to you. So when your content doesn't pass this filter, it's basically just ignored. But when you hit the right psychological cues, you essentially hack the human brain and demand attention. So here's the psychology to use this to your advantage in your hooks. And we're first starting out with something called a curiosity gap. And when we create a curiosity gap, we're basically taking advantage of the brain's need for closure. You almost have to think about it like an itch. You just cannot help but to scratch that itch. And if you don't scratch it, it is going to drive you crazy. So when a hook starts with, "I can't believe nobody's talking about this," or "you're doing this all wrong," you're basically leaving the viewer's brain hanging. The viewer's brain is basically demanding a resolution, and the only way to get that resolution is to watch the entire video. So when you're crafting your hooks, you have to think about, what can I do to prompt this proverbial itch? The second thing that we can do is called a pattern disruption. So when you really think about it, the human brain just loves patterns. But when you break those patterns, you activate a part of the brain called the amygdala. And this is the part of the brain that's responsible for processing emotions and reacting to stimuli. So whether you have a controversial opinion or a hot take or a jarring visual, that is something that will break the pattern in the viewer's mind. And that's why negative hooks like "everything you know about X is completely wrong" work so well, because they basically just make a small shock in the human brain and forces them to keep watching. So think about it. If I came up to you right now and I was like, "Hey, you're managing your money perfectly," you would look at me and you'd be like, all right, cool. But if I came up to you another time and I said, "Hey, you are managing your money completely wrong," you would be willing to hear me out because I'm telling you something that you could be doing wrong. And with that, you are 10 times more likely to listen to what I have to say. And the third thing that we can do is be relatable and empathetic. At the end of the day, humans are just hardwired for social connection. So if we just mirror a viewer's personal experiences or their feelings, it creates an instant bond between you and them. It makes people feel like they're heard and they're not alone and someone actually has the same experience as them. So think about this in a real world perspective. If you meet a friend who has the exact same interests or pain points as you, it makes you feel pretty good, right? You become immediate friends. So starting a video with a hook saying something like, "I can't be the only one who has struggled with X," not only draws people in, but it also creates a bond between you and them. But here's why most creators get hooks completely wrong. 99% of creators think that they have to say something controversial or clickbaity or use these loud sounds and quick cuts, but that's just not the case. A good hook is not about tricks. It's about connection. Really diving into a pain point or a common thought or a desired state that they want to be in, or just genuinely making them curious. And you almost have to think of a weak hook like a door-to-door salesman who immediately starts pitching you something. If somebody knocks on your door and they're like, "Hey, buy this," you will never buy that. But a strong hook is like a close friend who sits down, really understands you, hears you out, and then offers a solution. So when you understand this, you will stop chasing attention and you'll actually earn it. So these are 3 of the exact formulas that we use that tend to get the highest retention. We have 1, the context lead, where essentially this is where you set the stage. So you immediately clarify what the video is about and who it's for. So an example of this could be, if you're struggling to get more views on your videos, here's why. Then we go into the curiosity loop, where you're basically making the viewer ask themselves a question. So an example of this one could be, over the last 2 weeks, I've tried over 10 different hook variations, but only one got me over 1 million views. This way the viewer's immediately wondering, what was the hook variation? And then number 3, we have the benefit tease, where you're basically telling the viewer what they're going to get out of the video and what is the benefit of watching all the way through. So an example of this could be, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to double your views. So altogether, your hook will sound something like this. If you're struggling to get more views on your videos, this is why. Over the past 2 weeks, I've tried 10 different hook strategies, but only one actually worked. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to double your views. Throughout the entire process of me saying that hook, I am keeping the viewer retained and making them wonder, what value am I going to give out here? So here's another example for what I'm talking about. We start with the context lead. If you're eating healthy but still not losing weight, this is why. Most people focus on the wrong foods without realizing it, and it is sabotaging their progress. I'm going to break down exactly what to eat and what to avoid to finally see results and get your dream body. So now I'm going to show you 4 proven hook templates that you can steal. Number 1, negative hook. An example of this could be, everything you know about topic is wrong. Here's why. And the psychology behind this is because this taps into cognitive dissonance. So when people hear something that challenges their beliefs or that they could be doing something wrong, they are compelled to find out more, as we talked about earlier. Then we have the promise big, pay off bigger hook. An example of this is, I added 100,000 followers in 30 days using this one strategy. Here's how. And this triggers social proof and FOMO because people obviously want that desirable result. Then we have the open loop, which tends to be a very short hook like, why is nobody talking about this? And this type of hook works so well because the brain is wondering, why are you withholding information? And it just needs closure. The brain just needs to know what this is. What is this that he's talking about? And the vagueness also hints at some sort of like exclusivity, because if nobody's talking about it, that means that it's not very popular yet and they could be the first to be on this trend. And then we have the myth busting hook, which basically just takes something that's conventionally known as right and trying to prove it wrong. So an example of this could be, you've been told to do this to achieve desired outcome, but it's a total lie. So an actual example could be, you've been told you need to invest in order to get rich, but that's a total lie. Ultimately making the viewer wonder why you're saying that and what you're going to say to back up this claim. So now I'm going to show you 2 separate videos I made about the same topic with 2 different hooks. These videos are just approached in a different way, and this video did under 1,000 views, and this video did over 1.2 million views. So here's hook number 1.
This man is single-handedly putting chocolate muffins on the map.
And this video did not perform so well because the hook is almost too specific. Why the hell would anyone care that that guy is putting chocolate muffins on the map? It doesn't really make sense. Where you have this video that went viral because of the hook.
This is the most viral man on planet Earth right now.
Me saying this is the most viral man on Earth right now makes people wonder, why is he the most viral man? Why is it a swimmer? What is he doing? They're asking themselves so many questions that they need to be answered. People care about this guy going viral. They do not care about him putting chocolate muffins on the map. It's pretty simple. So now you have successfully stolen my entire viral hook system. But here's the thing. If you want to focus on running your business and doing what you do best while we write viral hooks for you every single day, click the link in the description and see if you are a good fit for our done for you content offer. And if you got any value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things content creation, and make sure you leave a comment because I read every single one. But thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.